Rayz Dayz, episode 144. This is a weekly diary podcast hosted by me, Ray Taylor. Every Saturday, I share updates on my journey as an artist, podcaster, business owner, and human. As I like to do at the end of every episode, is talk about something, highlight something that I'm thankful for. And this week is, it's something that I'm thankful for that happened, that I was able to experience during the pandemic, during that crazy time when everything was locked down, and I decided to change my life and put all my chips into producing the show, to producing my artwork, to try and make a living doing these things, putting all my effort into these things, working at them like a full-time job. But during that time, I was able to, thankful enough, to sign up for one of the many meal kit companies. That is what I'm thankful for this week, meal kit companies, which is something that, it's an interesting service, right? It's one of these companies. I'm not going to say any brands. You know them, right? You sign up. There was a promo code, so I was getting a discount on it. Right, I was signing up for 3 meals a week, 2 servings per meal, right? So usually I would make a meal and then I would save the second half for leftovers, or I would just eat them both. But they send you the ingredients and you cook them yourself, right? So instead of me going, which I was ordering groceries through Instacart at the time, it cut down my grocery bill and I was eating amazing meals that I was cooking myself. But what it did was it got me used to and comfortable cooking meals. They were basic meals, but you were making all of the different components for the meal, right? You're cooking the sides, you're cooking the entree, you're making the sauces, you're doing the things. You're doing all the things. Very simple, very easy, and there's, you get to keep all the recipes. So there's favorites. My favorite by far that I've made a ton of times, it is so easy to make, is this chili verde recipe, right? Where you just put everything in one. It's so easy to make, right? You just got to go buy the ingredients at the grocery store, which is fine. But I loved it. It taught me how to cook. Not that I didn't know how to cook, but it taught me a lot of things that it kind of just showed the reality of cooking, right? Where a lot of my perception of cooking before felt like it was so much work to do all of the components, right? I would always just kind of cook an entree and that's it. I never really bothered with the sides, the salads, the rices, the different things. And this forced me to eat better. I was eating the best I had ever eaten in my life, probably, right? Aside from spending a bunch of money and going out to restaurants all the time, like I was getting different meals, 3 different crazy meals. I was cooking meals of things that I've never had before, which I loved the aspect of trying things that I'd never tried before, because there is kind of that pressure trying a new restaurant and not even knowing what to order, So there's tons of dishes that I cooked for the very first time with this, just following the instructions, which they were easy instructions. So it's like I knew I couldn't mess it up, and they were delicious. I loved all, like, there's only maybe a couple that I was like, that was all right. But most of them were amazing, right? But it forced me to cook. It taught me a lot about just the cooking basics. And I love that I could keep the instructions, the recipes and everything. And, I cook that chili verde thing all the time. It's so easy. It's so easy and so good. But, that's why I'm thankful for it. I set out to learn how to, the reason I signed up was to kind of learn how to cook and also to be able to experiment with different dishes. So both of those things combined, is it are these amazing services? It's not cheaper than going grocery shopping for yourself. It's easy. It's compared to somebody who might spend their money going out to eat all the time. It's way cheaper than that. Also, there was many times where the packaging was leaking, specifically the meat products, the proteins. But the service I signed up with, when you filed a complaint and let them know that their packaging was broken, they would credit you free meals. So I got a lot of free meals out of it because it was a regular thing where like packages were leaking, which, you know, I don't know about the food safety nature of that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to bring it up. But, you know, other than that, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being able to try new dishes that I never would have tried, cook dishes that I never thought I would cook. Like, you know, before you would have on the app, you can go through their catalog of recipes and you could choose what you wanted to try. So it's like when they showed up, I knew what I was going to get. And I was like, ooh, I want to try and make that. Ooh, that sounds good. Ooh, that looks good. I'm going to do that. And it's great. It's probably the best I ate ever in my life. And, you know, I think it gave me the confidence to cook meals. Like, I don't feel... There's not nearly the type of fear that existed before I started doing that. So this week, I am thankful for the meal kit companies that send you all of the ingredients and the recipes and make it super easy meals to make. I really do enjoy those. And if there's a company out there that does want to sponsor this podcast, I would love it. Send me some free meals. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you next Saturday for another episode of Rayz Dayz.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.